What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. If you guys want, I can introduce you to my dog. One in the chat if you want to meet my dog. One in the chat if you guys would like to meet my dog. Please put a one. Please put a one. Thank you guys for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Ellie, come back. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? You want to say hi to the people? Oh. Okay. They want to see you. All right. This is. I'm not like Hasan. I actually like my dog. You can come on the stream. Okay. Well, she's playing hard to get right now. Okay, everybody, make sure you like the video on your way in. Please subscribe to the channel. You know, I actually want to give my thoughts on the Hasan Piker situation. So, if you guys didn't know, Hasan Piker did get in trouble for electrocuting his dog. Now, apparently, this dog sits there for 8 hours a day while he's streaming, and he shocks the dog if he gets off of the mat. And that's what I understand about the situation. And I have to be honest, guys, I do think this is a bit of an overreaction. I do not think that dog is being abused. I don't. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys saw the footage and it was way worse. But, you know, Ellie, at one point, come here. Now, I don't shock Ellie. Sometimes I think I should. She's obviously not the most disciplined dog in the world. But are you gonna say hi or not? D. G. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Me and Hasan are not the same. We are not the same. But anyways, I'm virtue signaling using my dog. And I'm just being honest here. I just don't, Ellie used to sit in a crate while I worked a sales job, okay? And she sat while I was at work, and she would sit for like 8 hours a day, and she would sleep in a crate. And every day I would come home, and she would be asleep, and she was fine. So, she lived to be a big old age. Okay. Ow. Okay. So that's just my opinion on it. I don't think that dog's being abused. I think people were kind of overreacting. But it's crazy because it seems like the dog gets more sympathy than people. It really does. All right. So today we're going to talk about Angel Reese. And before we get into Angel Reese as a concept, I really just want to talk about mids being placed into categories that they don't belong. Now, I'd like to give a disclaimer. I do identify as a mid, maybe a sub-mid some days. But a mid, I would categorize a mid as someone between the looks category of like 4 to 6.5, 7. Sevens can go either way. Everybody thinks they're 7. I do subscribe to the Kevin Samuels rating scale. I don't like giving out 7s because 6 is you're an upper mid, 8 is you're beautiful. And in history and society, we really had an idea of what beautiful women are, right? You could look at a girl and say that she is beautiful. Beautiful women are not common. They're usually the prettiest girl in their hometown. There's maybe 1 or 2 in a small town. In a big city, they're everywhere, but it's because they travel, they migrate. And so historically, there were opportunities for beautiful women that only beautiful women got. Now, an example that I'm thinking of a beautiful woman that I would say back in her prime was beautiful is Pamela Anderson. Not now, obviously. But I would say I'm going to show you guys her. Now, obviously, everybody's got different tastes. I think my female taste is blonde, to be fair. But I would say that her looks level is beautiful. To me, it actually makes perfect sense that she was on Baywatch it makes perfect sense that she was a Playboy bunny. Okay. Another one that I would say was beautiful is Megan Fox when she was young. Her face is so good that I would say, again, it makes sense. Her getting a lead movie role, and you could tell when a woman is beautiful because she lands roles with a male audience. So Margot Robbie, young. I know she's not everybody's cup of tea, but I would say in Wolf of Wall Street, she looked beautiful. Now, some people, this is a very heavily discounted one, but you just cannot tell me that that face is not an 8 to 10. Top 20% of facial symmetry. I would not say she's still beautiful now. Now I would put her at an upper mid, still an upper mid. Yeah, it's okay. And this isn't meant to be an insult. You know, ladies, to the like one woman that watches me and doesn't cry, you know, it's okay to be average. You know, when you're beautiful, you got a lot of eyes on you. I can fuck up a time or two and nobody's going to know because who's watching? No one's watching a mid that close, you know. And this isn't meant to, a lot of people hear this and they think I'm insulting myself. I don't think I'm insulting. I would say Taylor Swift is another woman that is mid. Taylor Swift mid. And you could see the difference. So that level of facial symmetry to Taylor Swift young. Now, pretty much all women start as 6s, like Taylor Swift here, young. She's cute, 6. You know, maybe even a 7. Maybe even a 7. But she's got no boobs or butts, so maybe 6. But, you know, they got that, like, innocence about them. Yeah, now. She's actually aged pretty well, I would say. I think she's aged well. Whatever, 5, 6, it doesn't matter. But there's a big difference between women that are mid and beautiful. You can see the difference. Thank you for the 99-cent super sticker, Fantasy Football Imaginary Football League. By the way, guys, I had a talk with my strategist today. Lauren Chen is not a 10. If she was a 10, she wouldn't be in conservative media. All women in conservative media, they're all mids. Yeah, this is not going to get you into Playboy. She's cute, right? But Playboy, no. Lauren Chen. I predicted divorce for her fairly soon. She got her kid. Who's another one? Lauren Chen. Tommy Lauren, I would say young was the most attractive mid we had. People will find ugly photos of her young. I get it, but like, come on. On the left, young. You just can't tell me. I would say that's the most attractive mid conservative media's had, like a 7. You know, and Lauren Southern is another one. They're like the top of the mid hierarchy. You know what I mean? They're not quite Playboy, but they're pretty cute. They're pretty cute. Yeah, you know, if we don't get enough super chats, you are not mid in my books, but people can call out my objectivity. You just need to get around hotter women. You need to get around hotter women, and then you'll see. I mean, mid. Candace, you guys got to stop this. Look at Candace again. Candace Owens is cute. Is she beautiful? No. Fuck no. She's cute. Beautiful? No. 5. Brett Cooper. Cute. Beautiful? No. There's a reason they go into conservative media. They're all failed actresses. They're not hot enough to make it in Hollywood. They're not. Look at if we were hot enough to be in Playboy, we would be in Playboy. You know what I mean? Now a lot of them are going to scream like morality and say, but I just have so many morals. I totally wouldn't do it. Yeah, I mean, that's easy, but nobody's offered you that. None of you are hot enough. None. Megan Fox had a nose job. Yeah, I mean, look, some of them cheat to get there, but they still got into the beautiful category. I am not in the stupid notion that plastic surgery doesn't work. Yeah, I know. Brett Cooper's got the pig nose. Rate myself 5. I'm getting old. Maybe a 4 now. When I look good on my best day, a 6. If I'm naked, a 6. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that on live. Mids, we do get hotter when we're naked. Plastic surgery, less is more. No more lip fillers. Okay. I have never had lip fillers. But again, guys, we got to look at what men respond to. Plastic surgery does work. It doesn't work when it's done badly, but there's a reason there's a reason Melania's aged how she has. Lindsay Lohan, everyone that's aged well has had a lot of stuff done. Okay. Like let's just call it how it is. I am not under this conservative delusion. Pearl, you would be above mid if you had more hair density. Okay, what do you want me to do about that? Like, what do you want me to? All right. Okay. So now I would say women that go into conservative media are exactly where mids should be. We have to talk for a living. We have to do some sort of work. The less work a woman has to do, the more beautiful. For example, being a model, you should be beautiful because you get to do nothing. Do you know what I mean? You get to do nothing. Now, conservative media, we have to pretend we know things. We have to do the news. We have to whatever. Yeah, Angelina Jolie. Like, come on. Let's just look at the difference here. We got to stop simping. Brett Cooper, woman who has to work for a living, kind of. That can only marry into money because she has status. Angelina Jolie. But will never give up her career for her family, ever. Which is fine. I'm not saying she should, but now this is a woman. Okay, now we don't need the old version. Angelina Jolie, young. That's top 20% facial symmetry. That's, I would say, top 2%. Come on, that is beautiful. I don't even blame. Now, a lot of people come at me and they say, but Pearl. America is fat, okay? Just by not being fat, you're in the top 20%. And I have to push back, okay? Number one, let's see, what percent of 18-year-old women are fat in the United States? Women get fat, but if you go to a college campus, women are really not that fat. Is there a grok answer? Let's give me this. Oh my God, it's gotten really bad. Holy shit. 1 in 3. Okay, but that still gives you 2 out of 3 18-year-olds that are not fat. Holy crap. All right, I stand corrected. My God. I still don't think that makes women any hotter. It just makes the league worse. For example, if we had all of the best players in the NBA tear their ACLs tomorrow and get fat or whatever, and we replaced them with a rec league, it would not make the rec league entertaining and fun to watch. It would just be a terrible league. And I would say that's what's happened with women. Women have not gotten better. The league, the women have, a 6 has not become an 8 just because America is fat. That's my opinion. Now, you might be more inclined to buy, you might be more inclined to bet on a player that's not as good because the league sucks. And if you're like a team owner, you're like, okay, well, this guy's fat. This guy's got a torn ACL. I guess I'm taking the fatty. Um, but you're not exactly ecstatic about that purchase. So now I want to next talk about the WNBA. Now, I do want to give my credentials for talking about women's sports. I think I'm the perfect person to have an opinion on this topic. I would say when it comes to female sports, I am a subject matter expert. I'll give you my credentials. I started playing basketball when I was 10, around there. I don't really remember. I know I started volleyball in 5th grade. I was pretty good at volleyball. I was okay at basketball. I got to top 20 in the country for Division III, to be fair. I was all conference. I was freshman of the year when I went to college. I was all conference twice. I got all tournament probably 2 or 3 times in my college career. I graduated. Then I did a year of basketball. And then I went and I played overseas. I played in England. It was semi-pro. It was not professional, to be fair. I played semi-pro basketball and volleyball in England. I played for a school there. My plan was to go professional, but you guys employed me instead. But before I quit volleyball, I did have offers to go overseas and play. So I would say that would make me a subject matter expert at women's sports. I would say that I am an expert on that topic. So what I've noticed about women's sports is because we're in the spotlight, we tend to get this big ego. And I have to be honest, there's nothing like the adrenaline rush of winning a game. Of being the star. I've had experiences where I single-handedly saved a game. Like in college, there was a game I had 25 kills. 25. I had the amount of kills of an entire set. And that felt so good. I was a superstar that night. I mean, even if there was barely anybody in the gym, in that gym, I was a superstar. The challenge you get is this tends to give women big egos. We start to think we deserve things that we don't because they start clapping and cheering us on. And I remember telling a woman I played with that we really don't deserve money because we suck. And it's interesting because women don't take that overly well. They're not like, oh, yeah, we do suck. We don't make layups. And they always find sneaky ways to make it seem like we're not sucking. So what they do in sports is they always talk about the revenue instead of the profits. So the revenue is how much money an organization makes. But profit is how much money you make minus the expenses. Now, I'm not an accountant. But, you could have a ton of money in revenue, but if you're not making any money and taking money home, that's a problem. That's why a lot of people that make a lot of money live paycheck to paycheck because they just spend too much money. And essentially what the WNBA has become is it's become welfare for lesbians. Not all basketball players are lesbians. I've just noticed there's more. And you get these women that just are getting these bigger and bigger egos. There's people clapping and cheering them on, and it's just very inflated. Everyone knows everyone knows the NBA is paying for it. And so it just becomes this inflated league with these women with big egos when they really have no life skills. And I saw this transition where women that go into female sports, their only future is really coaching. Because I was lucky when I was pursuing women's sports, I made a high income skill. No one thought this would be the high income skill, but it did turn out to be. I was learning stuff on the side, but a lot of women don't. And, they play a decade of sports overseas and they come back and they have zero way to make money. Now, this would be a different story if, you came back and got married. But I don't really, I mean, that happens sometimes, but that's not really I would say that's not really the norm. So what you get is women that don't deserve to make any money at all. They actually deserve to be unemployed with a big ego. And I kind of had this growing up, if I'm being honest. I always felt like I was the star athlete of my family. And I kind of was. Suck it. Sorry. I kind of was to some extent in terms of accolades. I made it to state. I made it. I went and got to play overseas. I played in college. I went to the NCAA tournament. But none of these accolades really mean anything. The real athlete of the family was my brother. And even though he was actually more athletic than me, if I'm being really honest, he didn't make the high school team or he didn't get playing time, so he quit. And this is not to be a knock at my brother. My brother is actually very good. He's actually so good. But it shows that because the league was easier, I got more accolades. I thought I was a better athlete. I wasn't. I wasn't. My brother just um and I see this play out in women's sports. So, not only do you see this in women's sports, you also see this in society. There's a bunch of women that are not that attractive getting jobs that they just do not deserve. And the reason is women do not like to see beauty on screen. Women cannot take the ego hit of seeing a woman that is hotter than them. They don't want their husbands to see it. They don't want society to see women that are more attractive than them. So this has given women that are unattractive, downright ugly at times, more opportunity than women that are beautiful in some industries. Um, so here's Bobby Altoff, and she's a talk show host. And again, talk show hosts used to have to be beautiful. They used to have to be stunning. She's cute. I would say 5 or 6. I would say for her age group, she's probably 4 or 5 in facial symmetry, but because she's young in the dating market, she'd be a 6. Hawk Tua, like 4 or 5 because she's young, 6. Same thing. These are all none of these women I would put at the top of the beauty hierarchy, right? And maybe this is hypocritical because in a way I also benefit from this to some extent. But I try to see this for what it is. And so you get these women that have these huge egos that think they're hot shit because they get outcomes that beautiful women would get. Now, if you want to see what beautiful women look like, okay. Ring Girls UFC. You have to look at male audiences and what do the women. So when you guys say that you like natural women, but I see the women that you guys respond to. A lot of these girls have had lipo, boob jobs, and nose jobs. Okay, I'm just being honest here. These are beautiful women. These are actually, now there might be one mid that skirts on in here, but in general, these women's bodies are what men like. These are close to perfect bodies. I think this is more accurate than even modeling because a lot of modeling can be for women. But yeah, I mean, these are you want to look up another Dan Bilzerian's ex-girlfriends tend to be pretty much smoke shows. These clouded guys that can just have any the women they choose to date generally are 8+. There's another one. Now again, a mid might skirt on in here. Let's see. Let's do Andrew Tate's ex-girlfriends. Oh, the ones that no wonder you got beat because you don't look like your pictures. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, these are obviously some mids can skirt in. They might not be everyone's cup of tea, but in general, these are the looks of women that are 8+s. And you should see the ones that aren't famous. I've seen some of them, and they're smoke shows. Okay. So what you get is these mids with big egos, and hot and mid women thinking that they're hot. Okay, so which leads us to Angel Reese. So, what is the Victoria's Secret fashion show? Now, when I was growing up, the Victoria's Secret fashion show was where you would see the most beautiful women on the planet. So I'm going to do 2050. Now, some of the men would say they were maybe a little bit thin, and at times that could be true because a lot of the clothes are still for women. But in general, facial symmetry wise, these women were it. 8+, 8+, 8. I don't know about the one on the right, but yeah. 8+. But over time, we have just started to give these spots to women that just do not deserve it. They just do not look. Sorry, she's cute. 8+, no. 8+, no. Now they're filling the seats up with old women, mid women, women that are, what we're going to keep seeing in society is they're going to keep giving these slots to old women who just cannot let it go because women are watching and women see themselves in these old women. Now, I'll see maybe one or two of these as an 8+, but in general, these are all mids. Mids. So now that leaves us to Angel Reese. She has an attitude problem because she has been told she is awesome her entire life. Even though she is basically in a rec league that loses $50 million a year. Her whole life, she's been told, you're awesome. You're in the WNBA. All right, let's see.
Good time.
This isn't just about...
Angel Reese's Instagram has been deactivated. Now, she hasn't said why she deactivated.
When Angel Reese deleted her Instagram after facing intense backlash over her choice of dress, it wasn't just a moment about fashion. It became a symbol of the deeper, ongoing double standards women athletes constantly face.
So much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time.
This isn't just about one outfit or one post. It's about challenging the outdated cultural norms that scrutinize women for their appearance, their style, and their personal choices, while overlooking their incredible talent.
Angel Reese posted this picture and a series of videos. I don't know why. I don't...
Like, do you see it now? Every time she's criticized, there are videos just defending her honor. Videos every day.
Get it. So if that was the reason she deactivated, I totally understand. If you search for her Instagram, you will not be able to find it.
Angel Reese's experience shines a spotlight on a larger societal issue, the double standards that persist in sports. Male athletes are often praised for their boldness, self-expression, and individuality, yet the same traits in women, especially black women, are met with harsh scrutiny. This disparity raises important questions about why women in sports are held to such a different and often unjust standard.
Bro, imagine you.
I'm not imagining.
Let me finish. Imagine you in the same little shirt you had on at the Wild 'N Out show, Duncan. You know how many t-shirts you gonna sell, cuz? You tripping.
Oh my
What?
God.
What?
God.
Them same little shirt you had on.
Okay, all right,
Duncan,
all right.
bro.
Angel Reese's experience offers a striking illustration of the biases that persist in sports. During her historic
So you remember, there's a whole societal ecosystem that is dedicated to allowing women to think we're victims 24/7, and it never ends. And it's just going to feed into her ego.
NCAA championship run with LSU, Reese faced intense scrutiny, not due to any deficiency in her skill or sportsmanship, but because of her unapologetic confidence and
You see, it was her sportsmanship, actually. It was her being a bitch. That's what made her go viral. And instead of society saying, hey, you were being a bitch, maybe tone it down next time, they have to gaslight and say, no, you were in fact not being a bitch.
assertiveness. Her bold gestures and celebrations, common in male athletes, were immediately labeled as unsportsmanlike by critics. This stark contrast reveals a deep-seated racial and gender bias that still shapes public perceptions of women, particularly black women, in
I've had enough. I have black fatigue. I do. I really do, because black women, you know, when I was growing up, the black girls half the time got free club. Do you know how expensive club is? A good chunk of them were on scholarship where we had to pay. Now, to be fair, our parents paid and they were, you know, more, you know, but they're not held back in sports. Okay. That is just half of the coaches are black. Like, come on, especially basketball. Give me a break.
sports. The backlash Reese encountered is emblematic of a larger societal discomfort with black women confidently claiming their space. Her refusal to conform to traditional expectations, standing tall, speaking out, and celebrating her success on her own terms, challenged the established norms. Rather than being lauded for her achievements, she became a target of criticism, much of which many believe was motivated by racial and gender biases. Angel Reese's story isn't just about resilience in the face of adversity, it's a rallying cry.
Okay, so Angel Reese says that she does not like being sexualized. Angel Reese has come on podcasts and say that she just, you know, has it so tough because people are sexualizing her. Now, I can have a lot of sympathy for certain women. There are women that, you know, they're not dressing provocatively, but men, you know, men just kind of think how they think. And, you know, they're young, they're beautiful, and they get more sexual attention than they've asked for. And then there are women that I would say are in fact asking for it. They're asking to be sexualized. And I would say that Angel Reese is asking for it. I don't know what she is expecting when she has her boobs hanging out like this. And now she is in underwear as a mid woman, a not beautiful woman, an average, I would say cute, not ugly, but a slightly above average looking woman. And she is now a Victoria's Secret angel. And they are just going to keep pandering and giving. Now, she's also on the cover of Vogue. And all the black women are going to cheer this on because they see themselves in Angel Reese. They're going to think, oh, well, if she could do it, I could do it. And we're going to keep rewarding bad behavior. You know, she was a bitch. Then she became an internet celebrity.
House of Dynamite. The first thriller is out for Netflix's new thriller.
I know you fucking lying. Current trajectory is consistent with impacts on the United States. I'm about to take it out. This pussy going out. So now
And now, and I do think it's important for the two women that watch me to pay attention to this. The world is going to tell you you're right all of the time. Your family is going to tell you you're right in relationships. There's a million simps that want to date you 24/7. There's a million guys ready to tell you you're the victim, ready to tell you that the men aren't giving you enough in your life. There's to the two women watching, it is very hard to stay sane when society is constantly telling you that you deserve more, you are awesome, and you are the victim. All right, so now Charleston White, I guess, is telling Angel Reese that she should start selling ass.
Angel Reese woke up this morning. She says that she's disappointed in us. She's hard.
Don't listen. She can't do nothing but play basketball. Angel Reese might well just start setting. I'll be looking at the way she dressed. She don't want to play basketball. She want to hold. She got that spirit. And she a basketball player. Don't know about this. Don't know woman play basketball. Them boys like don't know real woman shoot no hoop. They learn home economics. All the ladies been more like a big play. Yeah, so she been sales to get your OnlyFans. She'll make way more money OnlyFans than trying to shoot a jump shot.
Yeah, she's transitioning, man. I mean, she was open. She said that she only makes $74,000 a year. But she makes more money.
Man, give me some. I'll get her that. I'll double that a year. And we ain't got to fuck all the time. Yeah, we just fuck sometime and hang out. But no, man, she ain't transitioning. She really want to be a hoe. Look how she dressed. Look how she take her pictures. She really want to be the hoe. She the only woman in the basketball league that displaying the sexuality online that she doing. She really want to be a hoe. She want to be one that rapping a hoe.
Maybe she's bringing more dudes to become WNBA fans, though. That's what you say you want to see. You say you want to see girls dressed butt naked and shoot hoops.
She ain't doing what Shaq. Shaq told her to go dunk in her panties. She should follow Shaq lead. Bitch, go dunk in them panties. But yeah, I like to see her online. I wouldn't want to go see her play basketball. Unless they're in the Victoria's Secret panties and bra running up and down the court in some red bottom heel. Other than that, they won't see them always play basketball.
Yeah,
and they don't want to see them dunk. And can't none of them dunk.
Yeah, Cardi B's upset too. She says she hates all of us.
Man, we hate her like her. Gotta get that pussy away to a nigga while she pregnant. Let a nigga calm on the baby head. She don't let a nigga get in that pussy on the baby, calm on the baby head. Man, how low down can you be? You wrong, yeah. And not only that, we can't forget Cardi B said she used to drug me in the wrong. So who give a fuck about a bitch like that? Yeah, you supposed to play the nigga out the money. Don't, man, come on now, nigga tricking with you, you go drug me? Bitch, you can play me out the money. You can talk me out the money. You ain't got to do this.
Okay, he's kind of talking gibberish now. But I made a list of reasons that I think that Angel Reese should start an OnlyFans. Number one, she has no life skills. She's not articulate. She's not very likable. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to make a list of the reasons why I don't think what? Oh my God, I can't. Okay, so I'm going to make a list of the reasons I think that Angel Reese should start an OnlyFans. So number one, she has barely any life skills. She can't really make layups. She can't really play basketball that well. And she's not very likable. You know, she maybe would be able to go into podcasting if she wasn't so dumb, right? And she's more charismatic. Maybe she could do. She's never going to get married, number 2. So that's out the window. So I would say to get the money now, because you have no transferable skills into the real world. You will maybe make it. You'll maybe push this till you're like 35 if you don't get fat. Your attitude, I would say, that's going to hold you back in life. Your inability to work with people. So I would just tell her to start an OnlyFans. I think that's the best course of action moving forward for her. How do I know that she will never get married? Just a hunch. Just a hunch. Look, I know what's at the end of women's sports. I've seen it. It's not a lot. She might as well just drop the OnlyFans. She might as well just be naked. Pearl, you said it yourself. There's always a simp. Yeah, but he'll run away. She has such an attitude. You can just tell. Okay, guys, I'm getting kind of sleepy, so I think I'm going to go. But I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Please ring that notification bell. Yeah, and my message to Angel Reese is start an OnlyFans. I think it's time. I'm really tired of these moralists pretending that there's never a good time for women to start an OnlyFans. There is, and it's now for you, Angel Reese. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.